Hello, welcome back to Aether. This is Satomi and Paul from sakaso.ca. So, summer holidays, summer breaks, sunny days.
Summer.
Finally. Yeah, that helps us bring up our energy, right? Just being having sun.
Having some
us.
sun.
Yeah.
Maybe in your part of the country, it's been nice and sunny for a while, but here it's been delayed. And
like 3 months, I would say.
Yeah.
Right.
So we had a really long, cool, very cool
wet
spring and early summer.
No sun.
Yeah. Berry season was delayed by weeks, but we got a little bit more sun lately, and it's so nice. And you get out in the sun, and it really helps recharge your energy. Boost you up.
So if you haven't done that, go ahead and go outside and get sun and do earthing, grounding.
Yeah,
it really helps.
Barefoot on the grass.
Yeah. Or just jump in water, lake, ocean, river, wherever you have there, right?
Well, not too strong of a river.
No.
Hopefully.
Not that strong current river, not so much. Yeah, safety first, of course. Right?
Tell everybody to jump in the river.
Yeah, but so it really helps, and lots of people know that, but knowing and doing is different. So it's time to start doing it.
Embrace nature. Yeah, like we're meant to.
Yeah, we're meant to connect it to nature all the time. So
has a very strong effect on us. Yeah. And I mean, just being out in nature helps both of us center ourselves, let go of all any negative stuff that we pick up, the energy, and lets us just drink up that positive, natural connection to the universe, to Mother Nature, God's creation, right?
And so today we are carrying on that same topic, how to heal with a psychic, part 6. And
and just for clarity, she's saying psychic, not sidekick. Just
sidekick, how to heal with a sidekick.
I'm kind of like the sidekick, and so she's healing with a sidekick. I'm healing with a psychic.
Well, I was thinking sidekick.
Oh, yeah, karate, yeah, of course. There could be healing there,
yeah. Always something there.
Yeah.
So, okay, so...
Yeah, so, and as always, questions and comments are welcome, so please join the conversation here. It really brings out the most from the experience for everybody. If we understand that, first of all, we're connecting to you, our audience, and that we can address your specific questions and concerns, and make for a stronger conversation and stronger message here. So anything you can throw our way is greatly appreciated. Of course, as always, subscribe to our Sakaso YouTube channel. And if you haven't visited our website, sakaso.ca, please do so. We'll be happy to connect with you. Send us a message, or just schedule a free breakthrough session, and we can work on exactly what it is that you're up against together.
Remove blocks, and so you have no struggles. You can move forward, right? So today, where are we starting?
So today we're starting with self-doubt. Self-doubt. This is such a deep and broad area for anyone's personal development. We all feel as though we're missing something, so we're developing ourselves, right? So immediately that brings in an element of self-doubt, right? Whenever we're faced with things that are causing us a lot of pain, or we're just not able to get to where we want in life, then it's natural for us to question ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, there's so much negative messaging out there from the different influences in our lives that we grow up in, and we take on that basic message that we're not enough. Like even when we're just growing up and we're little, right? We're just little kids, and the overwhelming message when you're young is, you're a child. You don't know. Right. And you'll know when you're older, maybe, right? But you've got to first become something more than you are, right? And so we're in school to learn and grow because we don't know, right? So and then we get tested in school, right? We're writing tests, and we get 60% or something on the test, and it's like that is a massive face to face with self-doubt there, right?
I don't know everything. Some people have 100% and I get 60%. So I'm 40% less than that
other person. Yeah. So it's like,
you can't do that.
We just grow up comparing ourselves to others. And then we also see on TV, like the movie star, and they supposedly, I'm just going to say supposedly, have it all together, right? They've got everything, right? They've got the fame, the riches, the looks, they're acting cool, and everybody loves them, right? And so it's like, it seems like it's really easy for them, but that, believe me, that's a lot of marketing.
But thank you, Scott, for leaving comment. And you're dealing with getting rid of years of self-doubt. Yes, it's a very for some people it's can be deep. And then self-doubt, like you said, questioning ourselves, that is important to question ourselves.
It is.
Because so you don't get blinded and I'm all good and I'm overconfident and I'm just gonna go this way and everything's fine. No, that's not the best way to go. You want to check yourself and ask questions all the time, but there's a balance, right? Asking questions and asking yourself, checking yourself, and then if you do it too much, it becomes negative self-doubt. And then checking is keeping balance, but you do too much, it gets off balance and it becomes disempowering, right?
Yes.
So so that's balancing.
Right? And like you said, it's important to have that so that you can double check on things, right? There's an interesting fact that isn't necessarily well known, that people, you look around, you might see somebody who's really egotistical, really full of themselves, super confident and all that kind of stuff, right? The interesting fact is that people who are like that, there's a couple of things wrong. Number one, just what you said, they're missing that self-check, right? Now I'm talking about egotistical people who have an inflated ego of themselves. They're not humble. They are they push other people's consideration of other people up to the side in favor of themselves, of their own ideas, their own presence. They're the one that matters, not the other people, right? That kind of thing. In order to be in that place, that doesn't mean they're confident, really, truly. The thing that people don't really know very much is that people who are like that actually hate themselves. They hate themselves first, and then to compensate for it, they go for the voice that says, it's kind of like a flip. It's like a little bit of a strange mental gymnastics that people do to then on top of that they put this veneer of no, I'm infallible. I've got it all figured out.
So it's a protection.
It's a protection against their own self-judgment because they've judged themselves and they find themselves lacking in some way. So in order to compensate, they put this veneer of I'm perfect on top of it, right?
Mhm.
And I know what's best.
So
Right?
they're wearing a mask.
It's a mask, and it's that combination is they're trapped. People who are doing that are trapping themselves. So even if you are suffering with self-doubt,
Mm-hmm.
you're actually in a better place than someone who's like
Who's
in
who's
that
blind,
position,
yeah.
because they're blinding themselves to it completely.
Mm-hmm.
If you are suffering with self-doubt, it is hard, but it is better to be there, that you can work through it. And there's
Mhm.
ways that we can share.
Because you
to help you
are
work through
already aware.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Mhm. So, yeah.
so
Comments.
there's another one? Oh, yeah. Okay, good. Um,
You said you're gonna keep eye on comments this morning.
it said why? I thought it was a previous one.
No, it doesn't
It's a new,
show.
yeah, I don't, yeah, there's it. So here we go. Yeah, so Scott, yeah, very good point. How about dealing with a narcissist? That is actually what we're talking about. So I didn't plan on getting into how to work with one in this session,
We'll
like
see.
specifically techniques for dealing with it, but that is what we're alluding to right now. Someone who that's exactly that's narcissism, what I was describing. And dealing with that kind of person is very hard. But
if you deal with your self-doubt and then bring out your authentic power, your true power, you would find a way to deal with those people too, right? Instead of maybe he's right and I'm wrong, kind of thing. Right?
That is, yeah, that's exactly what you don't want to do. Just as a one pointer is to allow your self-doubt to line up with the other person's apparent confidence, right? And to let them take the wheel. That is the recipe for disaster. So you have to work through this in a way to keep a little bit of that self-doubt you have for yourself for what the other person's saying. Just start there, right? You've got plenty of self-doubt to spread around. Throw some the other person's way. Right? That's a good starting place, right? And then you can go from there, and we'll talk a little bit about ways you can build your own faith and work through your own self-doubt and let go of that eventually. But it is a process.
Yeah, because it's like you were saying, it can get in so deep since your childhood. Pretty much everybody goes through like a school system, right? And that's a big place, and lots of kids build self-doubt.
Self-esteem.
Yeah.
That's and you go through your teenage years in school, and you're still being measured against your peers.
Yeah, like
how good is that?
Yeah,
right?
we went to the award ceremony at the end of June, right?
For our kids.
Yeah, for our kids, and that's great. And then I don't know other school, but then our school, our kids' school, they had so many awards they gave out. So I don't know, hundreds, right? Like just so many. I have no idea. 200 maybe, and it's a small school. It's a small school, and at least 200 awards were given out, maybe more. And what it is it was kind of heartbreaking. I had such a mixed feeling sitting there, because some gets award and some still don't, right? And if
there's so many,
there's so many,
and then if you
at
don't
least
get
200.
any,
if you don't get any, like
there's more awards than kids, right?
Does it mean that the student who got awards is better than the one who didn't? No. And I was like, it's like, and I know few students, our friends kids friends that didn't go up the stage. I know I can count few at least, and it was heartbreaking for me. Just why, like, and keep it for just 1 or 2 hours, and then lots of students didn't get, so they don't feel like less than others.
So I think they're trying in that situation to reward more people, so that they feel better too.
So
but then that makes it even
agree.
worse for the people who still don't.
Yes,
right?
So that you know, I can see what they're trying to do, and not just academic, right? You did great in math, you did great in English, right? They were doing different things like I don't know, leadership and those kind of things, not just academic. And I agree, you want to award lots of different way, not award, but recognize their ability and how they're doing, how hard they're working. But it gets it even harder for the one who didn't get.
So I wonder if there could be thinking outside of the box, if there could be a better way of doing it, of rewarding those people in private, right? Providing them with an award, and they're asked to keep it quiet, right? Just with their family or something, right? I don't know, but even then, that sets up a situation where siblings, they know about their brother or sister doing better than them, right?
It's so hard to avoid those situations, but but still,
and their friends, right? Probably going to find out somehow.
questioning ourselves and questioning the system, and how we can work with it, right? I talked to the kids, and they got awards. It's not like me being upset because they didn't get, but it was really hard for me to sit through. And I talked to the kids, and what did you think about that, right? And then they agreed with me. And then one oldest one said, when they're in elementary school, everybody got award at least once a year, some kind of award. And then she said, I like that way better because some people didn't get it, and then I asked, do you think you are better than them, or they're less than you? No. That's why I didn't like it. Right? So
maybe just recognizing where somebody shines rather than meeting some kind of standard. So maybe just calling out that somebody is considerate of other people, right? Recognizing that, and then the next person. So every single person gets something, and they're just called out. Recognize that we appreciate that you did this, right?
Yeah.
Or like they had the most improved one, right? Which is also really good. I like that
I think
one.
they had that too.
Okay, that's the best one.
That's a good one, but it's just from teacher's point of view, right?
Yeah.
You teachers don't see everything, right? And then some students maybe getting up in the morning is a success.
Yeah.
They don't see from.
That's the thing, right? Okay. So I mean, what people don't understand is to say, if you're dealing with anxiety, if you're dealing with anxiety, for example, right? How much you have to go through just to show up, right? Just to actually show up and come to school or come to work or whatever, right? The amount of work that, and hurdles and victories that someone has to achieve in order to actually just show up
to be a start point.
To be at the start point where somebody who doesn't have anxiety, they just roll out of bed and they're there, right? So oh my God, right?
And then you doing so hard to stand at the start point, and then at the end of the year, you not recognize, oh, I'm not good enough. I tried so hard and I'm not even, right?
Yeah.
And so that is hard. And then those one give them self-doubt
Mm-hmm.
every year, and it gets bigger and bigger. And yeah, that's why all those self-doubts that lots of you have, I'm saying it's lots of them unnecessary self-doubt, negative self-doubt. It's disempowering you, and just because some people didn't recognize you, and then you.
And that example is all, and that's with that's adults trying. Doing their best with their best intentions, right? They have the good intentions for the kids, but the result, if they talk to the kids more and got their feedback on what it's really like for them, and try to reevaluate, that might be a something to take away.
Or like
but
then in a school.
No, I know. I was going to switch. Switch. But then there's as an adult, right? You try to succeed in your career, right? And maybe it kind of goes a different direction, right? Or maybe something happens, like there's an illness, right? And you were doing fine up to that point, and then there's that. Or you're doing fine, and then you experience a divorce, or you were doing fine until whatever happens, right? A car accident, whatever, right? So it's there's so many opportunities for us to have that self-doubt come in, and then on top of that, there's the intentionally negative stuff. And I'm going to call out the news, for example, right? The news makes us feel insecure, straight up, right? And so many other types of messaging that we see out there in the media. So we recommend people don't watch the news. There's other ways to be informed and kind of keep a little bit of stay a little step back from it. Especially the nightly news. Don't sit in front of your screen and watch the nightly news. It's not positive. But then on top of that, there's negative relationships, right? And being abused, being gaslit, all those kinds of things. I could talk quite a bit about that, and I might get into it a little bit later here. But or just having someone who doesn't appreciate you, right? Just starting with that, really mild, right? Someone who just not feeling appreciated for all the stuff that you do, right? And then people taking it for granted, or that kind of thing. All of these things. So Jody, thanks for that message. That we're on the right track here with what we're saying. And Scott's got a new one here. I had to deal with being bipolar in school when I didn't know what it was. Yes, absolutely, right? Yeah. So there's another example of how we can be put at an unfair disadvantage. Yeah, and then when you are dealing with it, and especially when you don't know, you cannot tell them the problem that you're having, and they wouldn't know, right? And then they would just take it that, it's not come to school. It's not, right? Not good student. No. Or behavioral problems. Right? You get labeled as behavioral problem, right?
Just because they don't see it doesn't mean that you're not working hard, right? That's the part that it was hard for that day, our day. It was like I was going, it's great, lots of students getting those, but the one who's not getting it,
back to the school, the award ceremony.
Anyway, but that builds the foundation for everybody, right? And it becomes trauma, and then you're carrying it.
And the other thing is that in our society is that we are the messaging is relentless. Be strong, be perfect, be a success, be the happy person on Instagram and Facebook, going for vacations in exotic parts of the world, right? And having the perfect life, right? Be that person. Only show that. and put that front out there, and all the other stuff, the stuff that doesn't add up, right? The hard stuff, the daily stuff, just the routine stuff. None of that is considered to be worthy of being shared, and is actually frowned upon, really, by society. And I mean, for God's sake, we're like, you cannot learn to walk without falling, and you can't just sail through life. I mean, if you're the person who sails through life and you don't have any rocky shores that you hit, oh my God, then you've missed out on life.
Yeah, you're not learning anything.
You're not learning a thing. So, congratulations, all of us people who have stuff to work on. We love you.
It's not easy. Sometimes it's really hard, but we are learning and growing all the time because of that.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, the kind of ganging up and shaming that, let's say, a star somehow ends up in the news, like Britney Spears, for example, right?
Okay.
This is years ago, but like she ended up she's a classic case where everything was on the up, right? While she was on a roll, and some problems started showing up because not everything was dealt with, right? It was she was just shoved into the limelight, and she's young and she's gonna make mistakes, right? She's so young, but she's not allowed. And then everybody gangs up on her and judges her, and then her own self-doubts are going to come through and get reinforced, and then she went downhill, right? This is a more complicated story, I know, but that is a major factor. So we got some comments in here. It's hard Scott here, thanks Scott for all the comments. It's great. It's hard when you're reading. I don't have time reading that. Reading college level books in third grade, it was hard focusing. That's all people saw. Yeah. Okay. Absolutely. Right. Thanks for sharing that. And so just you getting through the day at school was a massively larger accomplishment than so many other people in your class, but probably wasn't recognized, right? So you've been able to face that challenge and try again the next day. Oh my God! I mean, that's one of the things we're going to talk about here on how to work through this.
Yeah. So let go of self-doubt.
So
being balanced.
I just want to touch on this first. Like, as a psychic, you see people's authentic self, powerful, capable, healthy, full of grace, right? So that's why, even though when I'm working with her closely all day long, and she's got the answers and I don't, it doesn't resonate. It doesn't increase my self-doubt. Because of the way that you bring the message across, there's never a judgment attached to it, ever, right? So what you're doing is you're providing me something to move forward with, right?
Yeah, judgment is something that you put in, like, how can I say it? You looking through the glasses. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah.
Right.
I mean, so you have that's a filter, right?
Filter.
It's a filter that you're looking at the world when you're using judgment.
So
it's
judgment
not seeing the world as it
others,
is.
judgment toward yourself. It's you're not looking at a person as they are. You are putting extra colors or taking out colors or whatever, then you looking through the filter. And as a psychic, I'm telling myself I'm not allowed to do that. Then I'm not sending messages, because the message from higher self, spirit guides, I I don't allow myself to put any filter, just send as it is.
You just convey the message, right?
Yeah.
And the message coming from spirit guides,
Mm-hmm.
it's always a message without judgment,
Mm-hmm.
and it's always intended to bring about healing.
Mm-hmm.
It's always intended, and you always do the extra work, because there are some psychics who can still bring the message across in a little bit rougher way,
Mm-hmm.
but you do the extra work to find a gentle way to convey the message.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a gentle way you can say that. Some people take it that way, but I'm doing my best to find a way that so they can receive the message, right? Some people want straight, straightforward. Some people want coming around a little bit this way, right? So I'm connecting to the higher self and which way am I, which route I'm taking to deliver this message, right? So so because if the message not received, what there's no value to the message, right? So that's why sometimes it's gentle way and sometimes it's just straight, right? Depends on the situation, depends on the clients, and straightforward ways tough to receive, but you've received those ones before, and then it's like, what are you talking about? But okay, this is the way I'm supposed to deliver, so I'm just doing what I'm
That
supposed
doesn't
to.
happen.
But and yeah, so but anyway, so self-doubt, how to deal with it, how to work with it.
So yeah, and then I want to just kind of add another side to what you were just saying, which is on my side, right? So you're only going to bring a message to me, or Spirit's only going to want to pass a message to me when I'm already working through some kind of when I'm already expressing some kind of suffering, right? If I'm doing fine, there's not going to be a message so much.
If you're doing fine, then there'll be messages, but
so, but in other words, if I get these messages from you when I like, I'm mad or something, right? So I'm mad that something is going on, and frustrated, whatever the case may be, and you'll say something, and you'll pass a message along, right? My job is to find the silver lining in the cloud. So, in other words, this situation, this is talk a little bit about my personal philosophy here. I know you agree with this. We don't ask anybody to believe what we believe, but even if you don't believe it, going through the activities that come out of it still lead to healing. It still leads to ending the suffering. Okay, so it's just practical. So what I'm trying to say is that I believe that whatever's happening right now, at any moment, is an opportunity, not a problem. Right? So if I'm frustrated, then that's pointing to an opportunity for me to let go of something, for me to see things differently, not judge myself, not judge you, not be focused on an outcome, and instead allow the journey to happen, whatever the case may be, to have some trust, some faith. All these things are involved. In general, generally speaking, pretty much in almost everything, but it shows up in different ways. But what I'm trying to say is, if you are giving me a message in that situation and I'm frustrated, and the message you're giving me, it sounds like kind of a little bit off the beaten track. It's like,
Mhm.
well, what are you talking about, right?
Mhm.
And we talked about this in earlier episodes, is making the connection, finding the
Mhm.
connection. So just, it's very important to, for me, when I want to receive your message appropriately, is to look for the opportunity in the situation instead of looking at it as a problem,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Because then um, I'm open to it,
Mhm.
and then I can take, because that's what spirit's always going to point out, is that silver lining. They're going to be pointing out a silver lining somehow. Let go,
Mhm.
let go,
Mhm.
and then that leads to the solution rather than to more pain.
Mhm.
So, got a comment here. Okay. I agree with that, Paul. So Jody's saying here, I agree with that, Paul. The trigger is an opportunity for healing.
Mhm.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Jody. As far as we're concerned, that's life shows the way.
Yeah,
Right?
so it's like a door
Yeah,
to heal,
yeah,
right? It's triggering me.
yeah,
That's the door,
yeah,
right? Yeah. You open the door, you can go through and go to the other side.
yeah. And I might not be able to get to this so much in this episode. I'm not sure, but we will. But there is a connection between my frustration and my self-doubt.
Mm-hmm.
So underneath that frustration, somewhere there's self-doubt. There's somewhere I'm not trusting,
Mm-hmm.
right? I'm not trusting the universe. I'm not trusting myself.
Mm-hmm.
And so I get frustrated that things aren't going the way I think they should,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that I'm only thinking they should be a different way than they are,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't have faith that the universe is going to bring what's best,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm. And
So,
you have your own expectation that should be this way,
yeah,
kind of thing.
best in the Western thinking is, success and health and perfect health and happiness in every
Mm-hmm.
moment, right? Here's more presents for you. Here's some more gold.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like a Western perspective, but really it's more like we're here and we're here for a purpose. We're here to learn,
Mm-hmm.
and that life allows us the situation to point that out to us, right, and connect us with faith. Ultimately, is what we're being connected with,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the opposite of self-doubt, right? So, coming back here,
Mm-hmm.
so you know the answers that connect with your authentic self and with confidence that you're receiving them and you're passing them along. And that I think we already kind of covered that, actually. So I'll move on. So here's a very practical tool that you can use in order to work with self-doubt.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe you
Yeah.
can
So celebrate your success. It's sounds pretty big, but we're bringing it down to the ground and everyday activity, everyday practice. So what that is self-doubt, because it comes because you lack of confidence in you, right? Lack of confidence because you haven't done things not successfully enough, right? So what you can do, and it's very, very simple. You can start today. What you do is celebrate pretty much every step you take, right? And we have video for this one, and it's reprogramming your subconscious mind. Instead of you repeating yourself, you're not good enough, you are a failure, and then you didn't do good with this, and I'm not enough. Those one is running right now. If you have self-doubt, it's running in subconscious mind, and then you're going to switch to empowering one by celebrating whatever. Doesn't matter what you do. Right? For example, let's say you have 10 things you want to do today, to-do list, and at the end of the day you did 5, you didn't do the other 5. Usually lots of people look at the 5 you didn't do. Oh, I didn't do this, and oh, I'm not good, right? And then you beat yourself up. Does it help beating yourself up and not telling yourself that you didn't do well? Does it complete the second half? No, it doesn't, right? Telling yourself I'm not good enough, and then
It's
the
automatic.
other
It's automatic behavior. It's just
it happens,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then what's you doing? It's you are taking away your power. You're disempowering yourself by saying it, and so you want to switch to just let go of the 5 you didn't do. You didn't have time, or you didn't have energy. That day is done, but you did 5, and just focus on the 5 you did. I did 5, and yes, I did it, right? And then celebrate yourself. I did this, right? And then celebrate yourself, and then just
even
simply
just little things, right?
even little things. I took my dog for a walk. You might do it every day, but that's important.
And that's the point, is it the focusing on your little successes,
Yeah, little successes.
that you're able to drive,
Yeah,
right? That
like
you do that, you practice that a lot, right? That you celebrate that you're able to take the kids to school or to an event they want to go to.
Even if you do it every day, you drive to work every day. When you get to work, yay, I successfully got here, and that's important, right? It doesn't happen.
It's kind of important, yeah.
Right, it doesn't happen.
Safely get to work.
Yeah, right. And then, but you just take it that you have to, and that's of course, right? No, it's important that you did it, right? And that yes, I got here, right? And then you do one task. Yes, I did it, and by just saying I did it and then celebrate yourself, you are reprogramming your subconscious mind that you are a successful person, instead of disempowering yourself. Oh, I didn't do it, I'm not good enough. That's automatically running somewhere in subconscious. You're gonna consciously change it, and then yes, I did it, right? And you make breakfast, right? Maybe it's just a toast, like I just toasted bread, that's it. But yes, I did it. It's important to able to make a toast successfully, right? And those little thing. It sounds silly. But subconscious mind doesn't know how big it is or how small it is. You celebrating yourself is the important part, right? Yay! I put jam on my toast.
Yeah.
Nice. And then I finished the whole bread, or I finished half bread. Doesn't matter. It doesn't have to wait till it's done, partially done. Celebrate, right? And then there's so many things you can celebrate every day. Millions of things. Yeah, we can start doing that.
If you try that practice, you realize that how much better a space that you're in than if you just do the regular thing, right? And kind of assume that everything has to be all like that before and achieve something great before you can celebrate, right? If you're flipping it around, you're flipping the script, and then if you practice that, what you find is like, hey, I feel better about myself, and there's some of the self-doubt is disappearing, right? So because you are succeeding at, we're actually miracles walking around, right? I don't know if we'll have time for it in this episode, but there's a big connection with what she's saying about celebrating your success and law of attraction. Just kind of put that in the back of your mind. We might come back to it in this one or another one later. But so we got some comments here. So, Scott, it took me a long time to focus on my success. If you're doing it now, Scott, that is amazing. Way to go. I mean, fantastic. Nothing could be better. Especially with some challenges. I mean, we all have them, but I know you've had some yourself from our past conversations. That's beautiful.
Yeah, like
And then,
I successfully made a cup of coffee.
yeah,
Yay.
yeah.
Right? Start with that if you're a coffee drinker.
Yeah. So Jody's got one here. Unfortunately, it's so uncommon that people don't focus on the positive things. Common, I think she meant, and then and that they did each day, or gratitude. Yes, exactly right. Because focusing on those positives, focusing on being grateful for achieving that, I mean, that's going to put you in such a much better place, and have so much reason for confidence, for feeling good about yourself. Same here, Scott. But now I do, and it makes a huge difference. Yeah, that's, oh my God, you guys, you're really, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. And then Scott's here. It's hard to let go of years of being beaten down. It became easier for me now, Jody. Yeah. So Scott, I'm right there with you, dude. Oh my God. So that's what we're going to get into, I think, in a later episode on self-doubt, is how I was working through that stuff. But we can keep going with this for now. That's great to hear, Scott. It's absolutely a process, or definitely a process. It gets easier once you start doing it. Scott says you're absolutely right. That's with any practice. It's like that. And yeah, and Jody said, yeah, she meant uncommon earlier. So absolutely, thank you so much, guys, for those comments. And that's so beautiful what you're saying. So did you want to say more about the celebrate your success?
Yeah. So yeah, just start doing it. If you haven't done it, you will feel silly maybe at the beginning. Like, oh, what's the point doing this? This is just, I just pour coffee. The point is that you are doing big work under subconscious mind. Right? That's something that it's not conscious mind. Conscious mind thinks that's not important, but the subconscious mind thinks any success, anything that you accomplish is important. And then if you're not recognizing it, it's not, you're not receiving it. By recognizing it one by one, as many as you can, go ahead, just do it. And then subconscious mind is, oh, I did this. Oh, I did that. I did this. Oh, I did lots. Right? Doesn't matter how big. Again, doesn't matter how big it is. Right? It's doing the reprogramming, and that is so powerful. And then you will feel at the end, you will feel the difference. And I feel kind of good, right? And compared to the different day that you didn't do the celebrate practice, and you might have accomplished same thing, you did exactly the same thing, but doing celebrate or not celebrate, you will feel the difference. And that is empowering yourself, bringing out your power, and self-doubt will disappear, and then your struggle will disappear, right? And
when it comes to relationship dynamic, there's a big part that comes in there as well. That people sometimes talk about how they feel unappreciated by their partner, right? They'll say, you don't appreciate all the things I do, right? Dishes and taking care of the kids, or all the things, the normal stuff, taking care of the banking and whatever, right? Just the daily kinds of things we need to do each month. So when that happens, when you're in that place and you're feeling unappreciated by your partner, then before you voice that, I'm just a suggestion is to try appreciating yourself first. Celebrate yourself. So instead of looking to the other person for that celebration, that recognition, that appreciation, give it to yourself first, right? So you can't ask somebody else to do what you're not doing yourself, right? So that right there will do wonders for your relationship, because then once you're appreciating yourself, somebody's appreciating you, right? And you're feeling that benefit, then there's a way to work through your daily life and not be dragged down in the process. And you don't need somebody necessarily to lift you up. So it's self-empowering, right? And then that takes pressure off of your relationship. You don't have that resentment towards the other person so much. They're doing their own thing. They're working on their own challenges, and it might be hard for them to see that you're facing this challenge, right? Not being appreciated, right? So
and then you accepting yourself, and then recognizing yourself and celebrating yourself is way more powerful than other people doing it for you, right? Because it doesn't matter how many people are accepting you and then recognizing your work. If you are not, it's not working. It's still a struggle, right? And so you have to do it first.
And I can speak to that from personal experience, right? I did not give myself any celebration or credit for anything at all, and so I was unable to deal with compliments. Right?
Yeah.
If you have trouble dealing with compliments,
and then that's a self-doubt, right?
that's why, right?
Not,
yes.
They don't mean it.
Yeah.
I'm not worth it.
Yeah.
Right.
You can immediately, you can be flooded with, like I was saying earlier with the Hollywood stars. I don't know why I'm picking on Hollywood today, but anyway, I'll just run with it. You can be that person in the limelight and hate yourself and be full of self-doubt and have no confidence whatsoever, but somehow you fake it on screen, right? And then people all love you for it, right? And you're just like, they don't understand. And then you feel alone, right? If you don't appreciate yourself, then no amount of adulation is going to make up for that, right? So yeah, absolutely. So do we have more comments here that you want to bring out?
You have to say that. Maybe village you have irrational.
It's irrational.
Irrational.
Yeah, I'm going to put it on screen what you're reading there so people can, instead of listening to you mumble. You have to see that the negative beliefs that you have are irrational in order to let go. That is absolutely true. And I think, Scott, you understand that that's a step, right? But it's an important step that has to be there in order to set yourself up to do the subconscious work, right? So you're talking about the conscious mind. You want your conscious mind to be aligned with where you want to go, and then you engage with your subconscious mind in order to create a reality out of it. There's a different step there. Which one?
Sure, that one.
This one, Jody. Jody, this is part of what Lady Gaga is discussing in the importance of healthy mental health. I don't know Lady Gaga's story, but I'm talking about Hollywood, but I'm not like a big Hollywood follower. So, or that's not. She's not even Hollywood as much. She's in a movie now.
This is Jody said, it's a way of life. I think she means celebrating. For me, after a year of doing it every day, my life transformed. So
oh, wow.
That's and it is a transformation. Right. And it's, like I said, it's a small thing, but you can start doing it right away, and no cost, nothing. You just doing this. Yay! I did it! Right? Just by doing it, and Jody said a year of doing it, and her life transformed. I believe it. That's so powerful. So
And she says that you're clarifying what Lady Gaga, she often feels lonely. Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably more common with celebrities than we actually realize. And also because they end up not being able to just be a normal person walking around, right? They end up being isolated by their own fame, which is really strange. It's kind of tragic. Yeah.
Yeah, and then like the more you're famous, yes, you lots of people love you, but lots of people hate you too. Right?
Yeah, that's
the
true.
more like doesn't matter how what you do. Somebody said 10% of people would hate you.
Yeah.
Right, and then the more you're famous, you will see those people more, right? And then if you have self-doubt, that those one hits you. And
yes,
then you
and then
don't,
all the 90%, you don't hear them, right?
Yeah.
Because that 10% is resonating with your own self-doubt.
program.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and then that's really hard, right? Yeah. So, Lady Gaga, celebrate.
Yeah. So
I know it's a Madonna thing, but you can do it too.
that's right. Okay, so please, guys, be sure to subscribe to our Psychosoul YouTube channel. Click the notification bell, share, like, all that good stuff. And if you would like to speak with us more about how to work through this stuff, if any of this stuff is hard,
like celebrate myself. It's hard, and I'm doing it, but I don't feel any better. You can book a session.
Yeah, just book a breakthrough session with us on our website. The URL, whoops, it's on the side right there. It's because of subconscious beliefs, basically. If it's hard for you to celebrate yourself, it's a subconscious program that we were talking about earlier that you pick up throughout at some point in your life, that people a lot of times around you are reinforcing, that you end up not believing in yourself for some reason, that you're not good enough, not amazing at what you got there.
Scott said once you start doing opening up with yourself, it becomes very easy. So
wow, beautiful.
And then Jodie said, I'll ask Lady Gaga to join us next week. Yay!
That'll be amazing. All right, guys. Thank you so much for stopping by, and thank you for your comments and your questions. And we're going to continue this one next week. It's sometimes when we're planning these, it seems like we've got a week's, a show, but there's more to it. It gets more in depth. So we're going to split this one up and continue it next week. And thank you guys so much. We really appreciate it. Love you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.